Hello and welcome to the Grand Sports Center, and it's the Thursday edition of the program. It's always nice to be here with you and talking sports. A lot to talk about today. A lot has happened in the last 24 hours. Sorry, by the way, for not coming on air yesterday. We had some little technical issues which have been resolved. We apologize for that, and we promise that we'll try and make up for yesterday's edition by ensuring that today's edition is indeed very, very interesting and exciting. Well, on the lineup today we have quite a number of quite a lot to talk about. We have the Flying Eagles, whose qualification for the WAFU AFCON Under-20 Championship is now hanging in the balance following their 1-0 loss to the Black Satellites of Ghana yesterday in the WAFU B qualifiers taking place in Benin. CAF has been eating it tough, having it coming out hard on players and various FAs across the continent, imposing fines on the Gambian FA and the FA of the Republic of Benin for issues that had to do with activities that occurred in the last round of qualifiers for the 2021 AFCON. And also Arsenal captain, who is also captain of Gabon, Pierre-Marie Aubameyang has also been fined for posting on social media the event that took place at the Gambian airport. When the Gabonese team arrived, they were made to stay at the airport for about 6 hours and made to sleep on the floor. But then the CAF said posting such events on social media undermined the integrity and image of the body. So they've come out hard on Pierre-Marie Aubameyang. They imposed a fine of £7,500 to him, and for the Gambian FA they was fined $100,000, and for the Benin FA they was fined $10,000. So we're talking about these fines, the effects of these fines, and whether actually they are justified. We also have cricket. 2 days ago, the Nigerian Cricket Federation, NCF, officially unveiled the new coach of the national team, the new coach of the national team for Nigerian cricket, and it was unveiled at the national stadium. His name is Asanka Gorostina, and we covered that event. We should have reports of that event, as we'll get to hear the president of the Nigerian Cricket Federation, Professor Yanya Okenwa, and the new coach himself, Asanka Gorostina, talk about what to expect from cricket, moving ahead with cricket. And also we shall be talking boxing, where the much anticipated fight between Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury is likely to take place next year. The promoter says it's almost 100% sure that fight will take place next year in 2021, but provided Anthony Joshua comes out clean, beating Kubat Pulev this weekend in their match. We should be talking Formula One as well. Lewis Hamilton is still down, as he's yet to fully recover from COVID-19. They say he's getting well, but doubt still surrounds his appearance at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, which takes place this weekend. So they're still not sure. His team, Mercedes, still not sure if he will be able to make it to that competition. Instead, Russell, who did very well in the last outing when he replaced Lewis Hamilton, is very much in the frame to also take over his place. Talking about George Russell. And FIFA and the United Nations working together to raise awareness about match fixing, as they are collaborating in that regard to encourage footballers to speak out when they are approached by potential match fixers, to raise out to ensure that the game is cleaned or rid of all these bad effects and bad eggs. So these are many more for you on the program. We also have Super Eagles. What shall be talking about Super Eagles players, how they are performing out there in Europe. We shall be serving you all this on the program. I'm Donald Agbavobo, and I'm joined as usual by Austin Arume.
So my pleasure to be here.
Blessing Bassi. Together we'll try to make it a very bumper edition, so sit back and relax while we take you on this journey. into the world of sports. We'll get starting and get cracking when we return from this short break. Welcome back. It's still the GrandeSportsCenter, and straight away we talk about the Flying Eagles. Like we said earlier, the Flying Eagles are on the verge of being eliminated from the ongoing WAFU B zonal qualifiers for the 2021 AFCON Under 21 Championship, which will take place in Mauritania next year. The Ladambo Sototo side lost 1-0 to the Black Satellite of Ghana in their second match. They had earlier played a 1-1 draw with Côte d'Ivoire in the first leg. In the first match, which means that they just have 1 point. And depending on the result of the Ghana-Côte d'Ivoire match, the Flying Eagles are as good as eliminated. Austin, did you see this coming?
Actually, saw this coming. You know, when the
You've
coach...
not been eliminated, actually.
Yeah, they've not been eliminated.
That would be the kind of precarious situation.
Yeah, but then we are talking about a situation where you are actually depending on another team to do the job for you. And you know, this Ghana side, knowing fully well that they've qualified, they might decide to, you know, experiment with 1 or 2 things. So I don't think hoping or just waiting for Ghana to beat Ivory Coast right now is actually going to work. But then we've learned our lesson. Let's come back home, you know, come back to the drawing board, do what we are supposed to do, and then move forward.
And Blessing, do you see Ghana doing Nigeria favors at all?
Yeah, judging by the fact that Ghana was able to beat Nigeria in the under-20 match, yes, I think I see Ghana at least going past Côte d'Ivoire in their next match.
But they don't have much at stake, you know, because the way it is now, they have already qualified. I think that's what Austin was saying earlier. But when I said, do you see them doing us favor? Do you think that they'll be able to rise above that that urge to rest players and also field their best players for that match?
Well, the thing is, we ought not to have waited for Ghana, Côte d'Ivoire, you know, at this point. We're supposed to, you know, have done better, you know, especially with the fact that we drew against Côte d'Ivoire. We're supposed to have won the match against Ghana. So
Blessing just actually hit the nail on the head. Yeah. We didn't need to get to the point where we started depending on other countries. Yeah. Ghana did us a favor. And where did we actually get it wrong? This team has been preparing. They didn't come into camp until sometime in October. Yeah. And they were playing series of friendly matches. But I know sometime, I think on Monday, you pointed the fact that that match on Sunday was their first real competitive match against Côte d'Ivoire. But I understand that they played better yesterday. So could it be that this tournament is coming too early or too soon for this team?
I think so. This tournament, I believe, it actually came at the wrong time for Nigeria because, you know, we have a period where the league is not on. You know, Ghana League has been on, you know, for some time, you know, even though they've not been there for long. But then one of these things, some of these things happen sometime where you have a team that's actually fully prepared and then the other team not fully prepared. In this case, Nigeria were not actually fully prepared. You know, if we were to have a team that has been on ground for long. Now I'm talking about even before the whole COVID-19 thing. You know, in some advanced countries like Germany, Spain, all these countries, they always have a plan. Yeah, they have a plan, and they tend to go towards that. Yeah, they tend to go towards that plan, and they don't deviate from it. But then we have a different case here, and I think we all need to sit down and, you know, do something about it. If not, our football is dying gradually.
And the issue of our league not on, how much of an effect did it have on these players? We've seen what happened with our teams on the continent. You know, though we still have 2 teams, one in the CAF Champions League, Eimba, one in the Competitions Cup, Rivers United. But we had canopilas, and we have each other falling by the wayside in the preliminary rounds. And many people have attributed this to the fact that they've not been active because the league is not on. Now we see the Flying Eagles, players drawn mainly from the Nigerian local scene. Could the fact that our league has not started also have been a factor in the performance of the Flying Eagles? Yeah,
the fact that our league have not started is a very big factor, you know, in the performance of our Flying Eagles. Especially, we see the way our players are, especially internationally. That's to tell you how much, you know, we have valuable players. You know, if our league had, you know, had commenced, you know, and there was enough time, you know, to prepare, it wouldn't have cost us this loss.
Well, we hope that the permutations will now be reduced to 3 permutations. Ghana beat Cote d'Ivoire, or by 2-0, or well, it has to be Ghana beat Cote d'Ivoire. There's no other way around, because any form of draw or victory for Cote d'Ivoire will see Nigeria eliminated. So we hope that the Flying Eagles will still make it through, because this team is not a bad team. They've not played too badly, but then the team does not just work out for them. Take a short break. We'll return with Abmo for you on the program. Welcome back to the GrandeSportsCenter. CAF, the Confederation of African Football, they have come out hard on players and on various FAs, talking about football associations across the continent, trying to stamp its authority that there's no room for this there's no room for disobedience, and there's no room for unruliness in terms of the administration of the game in the country. Actually, a lot of things happened in the last round of qualifiers for the 2021 AFCON, just like we saw the incident in Banjul, Gambia, when Gabon went to Gambia to play. The players were made to sleep on the floor at the airport because they were being attended to, and they didn't attend to them on time. From around 11:30, when Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, the captain of Gabon, started filming what happened, to about 5 in the morning, so about 6 hours. So you could see that for that long, a team that was supposed to play a match the next day was stranded at the airport. But Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, according to CAF, went too far in documenting this event and also posting it on social media, and he has been fined £7,500. Austin, is this justified?
I'll say, you know, it's justified a little bit. You know,
the young man actually was a bit about it.
Why I said is a little bit. He actually went too far. You know, in doing passing the message. He did some things I cannot say here. Like he posted a kind of emoji on his social media page, and I think that actually got to CAF. But then it's wrong for a country to use that kind of antic to win a game. Why would you have a team that you're playing against? We know how important rest is to football. If you are going to play a match tomorrow, it is advised that you rest very well before you go on to prosecute that match. But in this case, I think the Gambian FA, they actually did it intentionally, and that's why CAF, FIFA has actually fined them as well, and I think it's fair to all concerned.
Yes, like Austin said, the Gambian FA too was fined $100,000 for what they did, but then they won the match. Could you say that the fee they have been fined is what's the result, because they won the match at the end of the day?
No, the thing is, the Gambian FA didn't really do well, if you trust me, especially with the fact that they had to leave these players for as long as 5 hours or more. You know, it's really not fair, and I feel it's not okay. You know, these are players that came to, you know, play a qualifying game in your country. You should, you know, at least taking care, you know, good care of them. You know, make them feel very comfortable, you know, coming in, because basically when you come, you visit a country, the first thing that comes to your mind is the, you know, the reception, exactly. So it's actually not too okay for Gambia to have done that. At the same time, Aubameyang actually didn't do too well to have posted that event.
And of another country that came under the hammer from CAF by CAF is the Republic of Benin. Incidentally, Benin will be our next opponent in the qualifiers, and said that their fans invaded the pitch after their match against Lesotho, and this was in breach of some of the statutes and regulations of CAF, and they'll be fined $10,000. Well, we'll be playing in Benin next month, and I'm sure that we will not have unruly fans when we play them, because this will serve as a deterrent.
Yeah, I think you know how it is with football. Sometimes fans can get overly excited, and I think it's the excitement, but then it was against the rule, you know, the laid down rules for, you know, CAF competition. So I believe, you know, it serves them right. Next time they'll have to tighten up.
Let them hear you. They'll go and prepare for Super Eagles next time, and they'll make sure that they get the good result against Super Eagles. Well, anyway, looking at this whole issue generally, at this point in time, this age, the way things are presently, the age we are in, and we're still talking about fines for FAs for not taking necessary measures, because the rules of the game is stated clearly. And for me, I feel that we should have passed this stage a long time ago. CAF should be more concerned about remunerations from their competitions, how to increase prize money for competitions, how to get more sponsorship and everything. So if CAF is still dealing with the issue of trying to get FAs in line to ensure that they do what they're supposed to do, I think it leaves much to be desired. I think we'll just leave this issue at that, and we'll take a short break. When we'll come back, we'll talk cricket. We'll get to meet the new cricket coach of Nigeria, Asaka Gurushina from Sri Lanka. Welcome back to GrandeSportsCenter. Welcome back to the GrandeSportsCenter, and we'll talk cricket now. Nigeria now has a foreign coach. Nigerian Cricket Federation has a foreign coach. His name is Asaka Gurushina, a player, a coach with great pedigree in the sport. He's from Sri Lanka. He was part of the Sri Lankan team that won the Cricket World Cup in 1996. So we have a World Cup winner as coach of Nigeria. This tells you how far Nigerian cricket has come in the last couple of years, especially since the advent of this new board of Nigerian Cricket Federation that is led by Professor Yaya Okwenya, and they've done so very well. If you may recall, sometime last year, Nigeria qualified for the World Cricket Under-19 World Cup, and that was played in South Africa. So that was the first time we're playing a global competition, and it shows that the federation wants to take it higher by engaging the services of a coach in the caliber of Asaka Gurushina. Like I said earlier, he won the World Cup. He has coached in Sri Lanka. coached in Australia, he coached in Papua New Guinea, so he's highly, highly well respected. We'll get to hear the president of the Nigerian Cricket Federation, Professor Yaya Okenya, as he talks about this idea behind the engagement of this high-profile coach.
Well, I feel elated. This is something we have planned, we have executed, and against all odds, we believe we have won this first inning, getting him to the country. Not only him, his wife is here with us, and that gives a statement that he's here to stay. And we are looking forward to the work and the improvement that is going to bring to our Nigerian cricket. We don't expect miracles because it's important that a coach gets to know his players. There will be learning curves that are involved. We will be asking Nigerians and our supporters and the media to be patient as the man gets to work, to know our boys, and we will get to know his ways, his methods, and we believe at the end of the day it's bound to be a win-win situation for Nigerian cricket, Nigerian sports, and Nigeria as a whole. The ultimate goal is to see us become a test country in nearest future, and to be one of the full members of the International Cricket Council. And during that period, we will be seeing ourselves regularly in the World Cup. This is what we are looking forward to. We've been slowed down by the COVID-19 pandemic, no doubt, but we did all that we could while we were in isolation. There is no doubt that at the moment, and hopefully first week of January or sometime in January, the equipment for school cricket under the accelerated growth of cricket in Nigeria would have arrived. We are hoping that an average of every 50 to 100 school children will have a set of cricket equipment to play with. We think this is important not just for the game, but for the support of the game, for understanding of the game, for the support of our people, Nigerians in every state, every corner of the country, for this sport. Thank you very much.
Yes, that was Professor Okenya, Yaya Okenya, the president of the Nigerian Cricket Federation, talking about the newly appointed coach and, of course, the plans the federation has for cricket in the country. Also, Asaka Gurushina, we also engaged him to tell us what plans he has for the Nigerian cricket, because he's coming in as for the development of the game. He's not just head coach, he's also high performance manager of cricket, of Nigerian cricket. So he has a lot on his shoulders. Apart from making the national team play well and win matches, he also has to help in development of the game all around. We had the president talk about equipments coming in, talking about their schools development program, a lot in the pipeline. So let's get to hear from Asaka Gurushina.
Well, not a lot before I accepted this role, but I was looking at different other roles which was always out there. But to me, I felt that I'm in a better position to help Nigeria to come up the ladder and do well rather than any other country that I would have taken over, because they are an associate country. As I said, they have similar facilities when I first started cricket, so I understand that part. But these guys are very hungry, fitter guys. So I think when I looked at all of that and the development side they were talking about, I thought I need to look at this country and come here, and I'm happy I came. My style of coaching will suit the Nigerian system, not my style of play, because I played a long time ago. My style of coaching will definitely suit the Nigerian system and these players, because, as I said, it's respect both ways and open communication and giving them a little bit of a, I won't say a free hand, but just to enjoy themselves out there and express themselves. So that's the new way of world cricket is being played right around. I'm going to see them in the next 5-6 days, these players, and then we have the Africa Cup in March, most probably, or April. So that's the immediate task for me, to get the team prepared for the Africa Cup. They have the festival starting in January, so that will also help to see how they perform in a competitive level, because that's very important to see. And then then the Africa Cup in March, April. So that's where the first goal is. Playing in a T20 World Cup, it is a little bit realistic playing in a T20 World Cup, because you've got to go through qualifying stages, and just like Papua New Guinea actually came into this year's T20 World Cup in Australia, but it was postponed because of COVID. I did some work in Papua New Guinea in 2014 as well, and they didn't have too much facilities at all. They came through very similar, very small, but they were hardworking. And that's where it is. I've been to Papua New Guinea a few times, and I know how they went through. And to get into a T20 World Cup wasn't easy, but they played very hard cricket in the qualifiers and came through. Getting into a 50-over World Cup is very difficult. It'll take at least 10 years to get into a 50-over World Cup, but T20 absolutely realistic.
As Coach Asaka Gurishina talking about his plans for Nigerian cricket. Austin, you heard the coach talk about Nigeria's possibility of Nigeria qualifying for the T20 World Cup. He kind of compared us with Papua New Guinea in terms of the level of development of the game. He said if a country like Papua New Guinea that has the same level of development in terms of facilities and everything could make it, that Nigeria too could make it. How is it sounding too optimistic?
Yeah, I think we can see, you know, the synergy of what's happening at the Nigerian Cricket Federation right now. You saw when the PRO, the Public Relations Officer, came here the other day. He was talking about the reasons why they had to hire the foreign coach. He talked about the fact that, you know, Grosinya himself, you know, had to pass through that same process as a player in Sri Lanka. So they actually reflect
Nigerian terrain, because it's similar to what
what he had as his experience as a player. And now I think he was a coach of Papua New Guinea at one point. So I think he has passed through the same, you know, experience. Now they are bringing him to Nigeria to do the same thing. I think it's a good thing. Now these people, they have a plan, and this is what we are talking about, planning. And you know, their plan are well, you know, straightened out. You know, you can see what they want to do. At what point do we intend to achieve? Of everything is being laid out, and I think to me, from the body language of the coach, I think he's actually a perfect man for this job.
And we also heard the president of the Federation, Professor Yaya Akenya, talk about schools sports development in cricket, that they're expecting equipment, their shipment on the way to Nigeria for the purpose of developing cricket at the schools level. How important is this for development of the game generally in the country? Well,
I'll start with the fact that it's a good thing that Asaka was unveiled. He's the new cricket coach, you know, and he has tons of experience. So I feel that his introduction is going to, you know, change the world of cricket, especially when it comes to grassroots games of cricket and the events you just mentioned now, you know. And I also feel that this is the time, you know, where they need to, you know, consider, you know, building up the young stars when it comes to cricket. You know, look for sponsorship, you know, look for partners and also supporters of cricket, because that way it's going to move cricket forward.
Well, the new coach, Asaka Gurishina, is on a 3-year contract and subject to renewal. And interestingly, he came with his wife, which means he's ready to stay, not staying like most of our coaches playing in football, to stay in Europe, and when Nigeria has match will come. This time around, he's going to be in Nigeria. So he came with his wife, so he's going nowhere. He's going to be around to monitor the players and ensure that he gets the job done properly. Wish him the very best of luck. We'll take another short break, and when we return, we'll talk about the UEFA Champions League as we look at the matches that we played yesterday. Welcome back to the Grand Sports Center on the Grand Sport Extra. And yesterday we had matches in the UEFA Champions League with some very, very interesting results. We had Real Madrid showing us once again that it's never say die, never for them. They were on the verge of being knocked out for the very first time in the group stage of the UEFA Champions League. Going into yesterday's match, they occupied the third position in Group B behind the Shakhtar Donetsk and the Borussia Mönchengladbach, and they needed to win to qualify. And they did that. Karim Benzema was the hero, scoring 2 goals in that match as they beat Borussia Mönchengladbach 2-0. So along with Borussia Mönchengladbach, they're through to the knockout stage. Missing out is Inter Milan, who could only play a 0-0 draw with Shakhtar Donetsk. And also in Group B, in Group A, we had Bayern Munich, who had already qualified, beating Lokomotiv Moscow by 2-0. FC Salzburg lost at home to Atletico Madrid. They needed to win that match, but Atletico beat them 2-0. And in Group C, Manchester City consolidated their lead with a 3-0 win over Marseille. They won that group. They are already through. Porto also did well, going to Greece to beat Olympiacos by 2-0. Group D saw Ajax play 0-0, lost at home to Atlanta. Going to that match, a win for Ajax would have seen them to the next round, but then they lost at home to Atlanta. Atlanta have been like giant killers, going away to beat Liverpool at Anfield 2-0, and now doing the same thing to Ajax at the Amsterdam Arena. And FC Midtjylland got their second point of the group when they held Liverpool to a 1-1. Liverpool, by the way, had already qualified for the knockout stage. Group H, a replay of the match that was abandoned on Tuesday. Paris Saint-Germain spanked Istanbul Başakşehir by 5-1. Neymar scored a hat-trick in that match, and that match, a lot of issues surrounding that match on Tuesday when the players had to stage a walkout following racist, the accused the fourth official of racism, and then the match was played yesterday with a new set of officials. The official that was accused was from Romania, but this time around we had a Dutchman in charge, Daniel McKelly, and they all took a knee when the UEFA Champions League at Amtel was being played. Along this time, the referees joined them. Was that were they just trying to make it? Because normally the referees don't join when they are taking a knee, but this time around they decided to join. Is this a sign that the referees are saying, "Hey, we are with you"?
Yeah, I think yesterday's game was actually a statement, from both sides. We saw what happened the other day. At that point, you could see what was happening on the field. You saw both PSG players and they were all in agreement. And then yesterday's match, they had to do that. And I felt it was actually a statement coming from both teams. And I think a lot of commendations, actually rolling in for Dembaba. He was at the fore of everything. He was just there, and the likes of Neymar, Mbappe, and they were all involved. And I think it's actually a good one that they are all speaking up.
And of course, for once, we saw both teams united on one purpose. Could that have been the reason why action was taken in terms of changing the referee and also agreeing to a replay? Because if only Istanbul Başakşehir had left the pitch, I'm sure that UEFA would have actually taken it to mean that they had abandoned the match, abandoned it to PSG. But the fact that both teams, both set of players, united in one agreement, was that the trick?
Well, we all know that it was a racist issue that that made that caused for the postponement of that match. But at the same time, I think, like you said, the fact that the both team had to leave, I think that's the more reason why they had to. But the match was obviously played, and PSG did very well. Judging by the fact that
when it comes to the match, there was no unity in this one.
Exactly.
They had to get their results to get to the next round. And the spank Istanbul Başakşehir. Unity ended on Tuesday. By Wednesday, everybody was back to business. And like you said, Neymar scored a hat-trick and Kylian Mbappe scored 2 goals. But UEFA is still investigating the issue. Pierre Wembo, the assistant coach of Istanbul Başakşehir, who was the center of it all, was allowed to sit on the bench pending the outcome of the investigation. So it doesn't mean that he will still not be punished should he be found culpable in the entire issue. Another match that got a lot of attraction yesterday was the Real Madrid Borussia Mönchengladbach match. Going to yesterday's matches, to be frank, most of them were just formalities because most of the teams are qualified. So we just had a few matches that we had something really at stake, and one of them was the Real Madrid Borussia Mönchengladbach match. Karim Benzema was at it again, coming to rescue of Real Madrid. People always say that Karim Benzema has passed it, but he has season in, season out. He has shown that he's still very much relevant to the team.
Yeah, I think Karim Benzema is one player who is, I don't know, is like a cog in this Real Madrid team. Even when he's not scoring, you know, he's actually doing his thing, and he's not that selfish. You know, most of these strikers, they have this attribute, this selfish attribute. But then Benzema is different. But what has happened to Benzema this season is that since Ronaldo left Real Madrid, he has added goals to his football. And, you know, most of these matches you see Real Madrid losing, they're either missing Ramos or Benzema. At this point in time, Benzema was on the field, and this is the stuff champions are made of. And they've shown, you know, they can hold their own any day, any time.
Another player that was in the news yesterday was Mo Salah, for the right reasons, though Liverpool had already qualified, but they went to Denmark, played a 1-1 with FC Midtjylland. Mo Salah scored the first goal for Liverpool, and he broke the record as the top scorer in European competition for Liverpool. That goal was his 22nd UEFA Champions League goal for Liverpool. He has now surpassed the record of the legend Steven Gerrard. Mo Salah, an African, always has been, since he transferred to Liverpool, he has always been getting the results, helping the team, and his profile keeps on growing and growing. Mo Salah, can there be Liverpool without Mo Salah this period?
Well, Liverpool have tons of experienced players, but we know Salah has been outstanding. Yes, you know, they have, especially when he plays along the likes of what's it called?
Sadio
Mane and Firmino, exactly. So they go as a pair most times. So I feel like Mohamed Salah has the tendency of even going further, you know, in Liverpool, and also.
But does he get the required accolade he deserves from that? Because we know that, fine, agreed, he misses so many chances, but then when you look at his record of goals, you start wondering, should he convert virtually every chance that comes his way? Maybe we'll be talking about multiple of those goals, and you get to hear people say he's not as good as he is. Does he really get the credit he deserves?
Of course he got the credit he deserves. For a period of time, he had issues, especially with the COVID-19 case, but at the same time, Liverpool missed him at that point, and they obviously needed him back. That's to show how important Salah was for the team.
Yeah, very important, exceptional player. Those were the words of his coach, Jurgen Klopp, described him as an exceptional player. Well, that's much about the UEFA Champions League, but tonight we know that we have UEFA Europa League matches tonight, and we shall keep you posted on those results by when we come your way tomorrow on the program. We'll take another break, and when we return, we'll talk boxing, as the stage for the much anticipated clash of fight between Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury is getting set by the day. The promoter says it's now all that stands in the way of that fight happening is for Anthony Joshua to beat Pulev on Saturday. Once that is done, that fight is as good to go come 2021. We'll talk about that when we return from this break. Welcome back to the Grand Sports Center. At the end, that is he says he's close to 100% as he can be that Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury will fight next year, provided Anthony Joshua beats Kubrat Pulev on Saturday. Well, we've been talking about distractions for Anthony Joshua, that he needs to focus on the Kubrat Pulev. But then we can't help but getting excited about the fact that the possibility of this fight happening. Fine, he has a fight against Kubrat Pulev on Saturday, but then looking at the possibilities of this fight happening, what does it make for boxing, having this kind of high-profile fight?
I think for boxing, they want this fight to happen. I think they will prefer a match between Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury because it will carry more fanfare, and it's going to trend more than the match between Anthony Joshua and Pulev. But then at the end, it's being saucy this morning, sounding saucy. They are sounding as if it's actually a done deal for Anthony Joshua at this point.
Pulev is a pushover.
Yeah, like Pulev is a pushover.
And that's what we've been saying, that it happened to Mike Tyson in the 90s.
Yeah.
When he was looking at fighting Evander Holyfield, then they had to fight James Buster Douglas, a kind of nobody when it comes to heavyweight division, but just given that chance. And he beat Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
So are we seeing a repeat of this kind of issue with Anthony Joshua? Should he not be more careful?
Well, I think we're going to see a repeat of it. Yes.
You're very sure that...
When it comes to boxing, you can expect the unexpectable, especially the fact that you have to put in everything to win the bout. But at the same time, I feel Anthony Joshua probably might have an upper edge in this game against Tyson.
But then we can't wait for Saturday to come, because I think for many people it's not about Saturday, it's about what happens after Saturday. They just want Saturday to be out of the way so that they can focus on the main one, which is the match against Tyson Fury. So we wish Anthony Joshua good luck, and we hope that the fact that he has not been in the ring since last December when he beat Anthony Ruiz, it will not affect him, because even at the end he's saying that it's a bit jittery. So that explains the fact that he has not been in the ring for about a year now. But then it can happen to anybody. But I'm sure that as soon as he steps into the ring, the first 2-3 minutes, provided he survives it, he'll get himself back. And still talking, well, away from boxing, now we'll talk motorsports, Formula One. Lewis Hamilton is still improving. We reported some time ago that he tested positive for COVID-19. He's still improving, and which means his participation at the last Grand Prix of the year, which comes up this weekend in Abu Dhabi, is in doubt. George Russell, once again, is in line to replace him. As you know, Russell is a driver with Williams, but then he has been conscripted by the Mercedes team to replace Lewis Hamilton for this last couple of races. And he was on the verge of winning last Grand Prix at Sakai, but for some issues that has to do with change of tires and also a puncture that affected him. So it's like Mercedes will not even flinch should Hamilton not be able to make it for the race, because in George Russell they have a capable replacement. Austin, is that actually the case?
Yeah, I think with what actually happened the last Sakai Grand Prix, I think I want to see what George Russell is all about. At this point in time, the championship is sealed already, done and dusted. So I think Lewis Hamilton should just take a chill pill, let him rest. Let's see what George Russell is all about. The guy is new, is young. So I just want to see if eventually, he will live up to that hype of, coming into the F1 and, being among the top drivers in the F1.
And another news that is in the air is the partnership between World Football Governing Body FIFA and United Nations Office on Drug and Crime, as they are partnering for a new campaign encouraging football to speak out against match fixing and to raise awareness about FIFA's confidential reporting platforms. FIFA is saying that there's a confidential reporting platform where players who have been approached for fixed matches can go and make complaints and report without the identity being revealed. So they are giving them that leverage that you can come, don't be afraid, you can say it, and giving them the opportunity to come and report without being exposed. So that is what they're saying, and they're partnering with the United Nations on this issue because the United Nations is battling the issue of drug abuse, and together with football they want to bring all these things to light. Well, Blessing, this is a very good collaboration. I think it's a win-win for both organizations and something that is important for the growth of the game.
Yes, I agree with this very idea of FIFA collaborating with UN on this aspect of match fixing and what's the other one. But I feel that I like the fact that players will be able to air their opinions and the fact that
any approaches for match
report
fixing.
any approaches that, because most times you might not even know there might be issues of gambling and issues of match fixing, but this brings an avenue where people can air their views and just report if there's an issue going on they are not comfortable with, because most times matches might be going on and they might have settled either a referee or a coach or the team per se, but with this idea on ground, it's going to actually go a long way in sorting out issues. Make it easier for players to come out, because they're going to be protected and they would not be exposed. So before now, players were afraid of coming out, speaking out, because if you speak out, because it's something that is happening, you may be ostracized. But now they're saying, providing a platform for you to actually come and report such incidents and without being exposed. We wish FIFA and United Nations good luck. I pray that this campaign is very, very successful. We'll take a break, and when we'll come back, we'll wrap up with Super Eagles Watch and also take our clothing formalities. You're still on to the GrandeSportsCenter. As we wrap it up on the show today, let's quickly tell you about Super Eagles players who are in the news. Isaac Success, a lot of people might have forgetting him. He plays for Watford, and he says that he's ready to come back and bounce back. He has been out injured. He says he's not too happy that he's not been able to do much on the field of play, and he feels that he will come back big and ready to make up for lost time. Also, Frank Oyeka, who plays for FC Midtjylland, was in action against Liverpool yesterday. Another player that was supposed to be in action, Azubuike Okechukwu, who plays for Istanbul Besiktas, was not listed in that match, but I'm sure that he was part of those that walked out of the pitch on Tuesday. Even if he was on the reserve bench, he was part of that good cause, because he was part of the Istanbul Besiktas team alongside the Paris Saint-Germain players that walked out of the pitch on Tuesday in protest over a racist comment made by the fourth assistant referee. Maduka Okoye, Super Eagles goalkeeper, is in the news these days. He has attributed his latest good run of form to hard work and dedication. So far, he has played in 5 league games for Sparta Rotterdam. For the first time in recent times, we have a Super Eagles goalkeeper playing in a first-rated league in Europe, in Dutch Eredivisie. So good to know that he's playing for his side. But this one is a bit tricky, but also once a Nigerian, whether male or female, is a Nigerian player, so we call them Super Eagles. Asita Oshoala, a Super Falcon, but then it's a Super Eagle as well. It was on target for Barcelona. His personalities as a beat and PSV
Eindhoven by 4-1 in the UEFA Women's Champions League on Wednesday. He scored the third goal to make it 3-0 for Barcelona. So that is the match on Super Eagles Watch for today, and the match we have for you on the program Grand Sports Center today. We hope you've had a nice time with us. We'll be back same time, same station tomorrow with another interesting edition. I'll be looking forward to having you join us once again. Let me quickly thank Austin Arome for being part of the show.
Thank you for having me.
And Blessing Basi as well.
Thank you.
I'm Donald Agbavobo on behalf of all of us and the entire production crew. Wish you the very best of the remaining part of the day.